Today, I go nuclear. Enough said. Downright sports. Here we are to another Downright Sports. Hello, everyone. I am your host, Brent Reed. Downright Sports is a web series that is basically a sports show from a fan's perspective. So we watch so many other sports shows where everybody's a professional analyst. Well, fans watch sports. Fans should talk sports. This fan does talk sports. But we start every show with the must-know news, and we kick it off with arrest, charges, college basketball. Anyway, 10 college basketball coaches have been charged with fraud and corruption charges. Some of the teams to be mentioned are Auburn, Oklahoma State, Arizona, and USC. There will be others that will be released as the day goes on. A press conference at noon today, which it is September 26, 2017, for those of you that may watch the show later in the week. Basically, there will be a press conference later to address these issues and what's going on. Basically, money being passed around in college is nothing new. I'm going to leave it at that. And on a happier note, especially for my boys, the New York Yankees, the judge is in, the verdict is in, and Aaron Judge has broken the AL rookie home run record with 50. Yesterday he hit 49, tying Mark McGwire, and then hitting 50. The young man whose season continues to just get better and better and better. He is now the 5th Yankee to have hit 50 home runs in a season. Babe Ruth has done it 4 times. Mickey Mantle has done it twice. Roger Maris has done it once. And Alex Rodriguez has done it once. And then you add now this young man and Aaron Judge. And if you look, it's crazy to think about. The Yankees don't have more guys. And the nickname the Yankees have are the Bronx Bombers. It's a little bit strange. Anyway, when we come back, we're going to hit the topic where, ladies and gentlemen, I go DEFCON 1. So many people say DEFCON 5 because it sounds cool, but really DEFCON 1 is the serious. And today, I go nuclear on the NBA. No need to give it away. Downright sports. Well, as my iPad makes noise, my computer makes noise, we are here in the topic where for the last year and a half, we've been on Melo Anthony watch. Where will he go? Is he going to Houston? He's going to Cleveland. No, he's going to the Clippers. No, Carmelo's going to stay with the Knicks. He ended up in Oklahoma City, an unlikely team that nobody saw coming. Oklahoma City. Here's where we start. Now, if you don't know me, which everybody that watches the show does know me because my viewership extends only to people that know who I am, the Knicks are my favorite team. It's my team of my youth. It's a team I grew up watching. It's a team my mother, I could hear screaming in agony as they would lose again. They would make it and then lose. The Knicks are the team that my dear sweet cousin DJ Chase left behind and became a Lakers fan because the Knicks gave us so much pain. But I stayed. Yes, I did. I persevered like my uncles who stayed loyal Knicks fans, as every single freaking year we watch bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. Flash forward to the year 2010. Go with me, if you will. Where rumors are swirling that now that LeBron James has made the jump to the Miami Heat, creating the first ever super team, now there's talk everybody wants to make a Super Friends team. And the second team to be rumored was the Knicks, where Carmelo will be the first. Well, Amari Stoudemire was going to be the first piece of the puzzle. Stoudemire will come to the Knicks as a free agent. Carmelo would orchestrate a trade to come, followed by Chris Paul. Well, Chris Paul never came. In fact, some would say we never got to see Chris Paul because he ended up on the Clippers. Anyway, Carmelo comes to the Knicks. We got Carmelo and Amari. Wonderful things are supposed to happen, and nothing ever did. A few playoff appearances in 2010-11 season, 11-12. The best year, which was the last year, the 2012-2013 season, the first time in like 15 years the Knicks won 50 games. It was something ridiculous like that. We thought these guys were finally hitting their stride, and they did not. After just bad decision after bad decision, Phil Jackson, James Dolan, the Knicks continued to stink. And Carmelo couldn't deal with the stench of the team he created, by the way, because he, unlike his partners, the LeBrons, the Chris Pauls, hell, the Dwayne Wades, he is unable to make the players around him better. He's incapable of doing it. Why? Because he has to have his style. It's never been his style. Fair enough. So whose fault is it that the Knicks continue to suck? Some could say it's James Dolan. Well, James Dolan has gone out of his way to put different people in place. He hired, dang God, I can't remember his name, but he was with the Indiana Pacers for years. He hired him, and it didn't work out. Phil Jackson, though, was supposed to be the man to fix it all. But instead, it looked like Phil was just doing everything wrong. Hey, Phil, there's a better player out there. Well, I'm going to get this player who fits in this fictional system nobody's used in 90 years. Or, hey, Phil, instead of trading Carmelo for a better player, let's just keep him and hold him. And let's see what happens. And I'll just talk crap about him. Now Phil's gone. We can't beat up on Phil anymore. And we're stuck with James Dolan, whatever moron he's hired. Speaking of said moron, he's such an idiot, whoever the new president and general manager of the team is. I refuse to use his name because he is an idiot. He traded Carmelo Anthony to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Eric Cantor. I hear the crickets. Doug McDermott. I continue to hear the crickets. And a second-round pick. When Knicks make dumb trades like this, Knicks always go after like somebody's best, quote-unquote, best player. The Knicks end up trading the farm. Knicks will trade 7 first-round picks between now and to the time I had my first kid. But when it's time for us to get rid of a superstar player, we get a second-round pick. For those of you that don't follow basketball or follow the basketball draft, let me hip you to something. If you don't have pick 1 through 5, you really are wasting your time. You can sign a guy off the street to be a number 2 pick. Now, it's a little harsh. I'll back up a little bit. But to be fair, you know I'm right. So when you have a handful of guys, you can point to, oh, he was picked in the 2nd round. What about him? Well, that's like saying, well, Tom Brady was picked in the 6th round. How many 6th-round guys have 5 Super Bowls? The defense rest. That started. That led the team. Let me be clear. Let me be clear. This goes to my point where now we have another super team in the works. Granted, they probably are the worst on paper, but now you got Paul George, All-Star. Russell Westbrook just came off the MVP award, All-Star. And now Carmelo Anthony. A few years back, when the Lakers, who had Kobe Bryant and Paul Gasol, wanted to trade for Chris Paul, the league said, no. We won't go with that trade. Chris Paul could go to the Clippers, but he can't go to the Lakers, which would have gave Kobe another ring, which would have kept the Lakers relevant for more seasons, which would have been better for the league. Now, the league has to suffer because it got LeBron and all. But let's be real. Nobody cares about those teams. They want to see the Lakers. They want to see the Celtics. They want to see the good-looking jerseys, not some made-up stuff, all right? And Adam Silver, commissioner, rights leader, champion of the players, lets this crap trade go through? How doesn't he step in and go, what is happening here? How doesn't he go, Knicks, you received nothing in this trade. I can't let this go through. I can now allow this farce to happen. But instead he does, because he's weak. And he's not incompetent. He's a very bright, smart man. But the point, he does not care about the bottom. Now, basically, in the NBA, and I need to wrap this up, in the NBA, we have 4 teams, maybe 5, that are guaranteed to be in the top, and everybody else is just showing up. It's like a high school league. You know who's going to be in the state championship. You're just playing because you made the team and your dad is complaining that you're not getting enough playing time and your mom wants to take enough pictures. A la the Charlotte Hornets. So if you look at the East, you can put the Cavaliers, clear cut. Everybody else, if you want to add the Celtics or the Washington Wizards, you can, but you really can't. So what it looks like to me, conspiracy mode, LeBron cannot win a championship as long as there's another single better team. So what do? We stack the teams in the West to beat up on each other. Wait for it, like the 90s. If you go back, God, I'm going on tour. If you go back to the 90s, the Chicago Bulls, the West Coast teams used to kill each other. But in the East, Chicago had nothing in their way. The Knicks, nothing in their way. Miami, nothing in their way. Indiana, nothing in their way. Delete all of them. They were not in the way. But you go out West, flash forward to now, OKC, the Golden State Warriors, the Houston Rockets, the Spurs, the Clippers are still kind of there. The Minnesota Timberwolves are better. You got all these teams that are just going to be, Memphis is not going to be any pushover. You got all these teams that are just going to be beating each other up to face the Cavaliers so LeBron can get another ring. I always find a way to put it back on LeBron. But LeBron, today is not your fault. Today, I blame Anderson Silva. Today, Adam Silver, Anderson Silva's a fighter. Today, I blame the New York Knicks. And today, I blame Carmelo Anthony. I hold each and every one of you responsible for this terrible upcoming NBA season. This mess is what it is. I was actually a lot calmer than I was expecting. That's what happens when you have 3 days to prepare. Movies and video games when we return. Downright Sports. Games, the segment that ends every show. The segment I like to do the most. Basically, today, we're going to touch on the upcoming TV season. Every year, every fall's a new upcoming TV season. What show makes it, what show doesn't, what show goes on, what show goes on to greatness. With that being said, there are a bunch of shows. There's a show that's coming back that's got like a bunch of Emmys, 17 or something like that, and they're hoping to strike lightning in the bottle twice, and it's NBC's Will and Grace. They're introducing Will and Grace when they first hit the scene. It was kind of different. It was kind of taboo. It was a straight woman living with a gay man who had gay friends, and they talked. It was like basically the first time network TV touched and entered the world and showed people that, hey, gay people are all right. They're just, looking for the same thing straight people are looking for, just in a different way. But Will and Grace went on to have great success. They're bringing it back now. Have no idea what's going to look like. I give it, maybe they'll have one good year, but after that, I don't see it going down. On another show coming back after 6 years for season 9, one of my favorite shows, Curb Your Enthusiasm, a show that I feel like I relate to that man so much. I'm just a broke version of Larry David. That's the only difference. But Curb is coming back with all the original cast, with some new people they're going to add in there. So it's going to be fun. We're going to see how that prepares actually this Sunday. So we'll get to see what that's like. Law and Order, the original, is kind of back, but they're going to do it in a different way. They're going to talk about the Menendez brothers trial. That's so it's kind of like what they did last year with the People versus OJ. So that should be interesting. Goodness gracious. Carmela Soprano, a.k.a. Edie Falco, will be on the show. She will be playing the lawyer that represented the Menendez brothers. I think this is one of those hits that's an Emmy. HBO also has another show that touches on the 1970s and the porn district in New York called The Deuce, which is basically about 42nd Street. There's a lot of big stars in that. I'm not running down the list, but James Franco's on it, and somebody else. But take a look at it. I think this is one of those. It starts out slow like The Sopranos did, and then as seasons build on, people build up on it, or it just dies. You never know. There's a few shows I think won't make it, and I could be wrong. On ABC, it's a show called The Mayor, where a rapper becomes the mayor of his town, and of course he has to create change. He's not making it. The girl from Glee is on it, who I used to think was cute. I have no idea what her name is, but she's on it, and I think she's the only Glee star that works. I don't see any. The other kid, I think, plays Nightcrawler. The kid that was in the wheelchair plays Nightcrawler in the X-Men movies. And then there's a Young Sheldon, which is a spin-off prequel to The Big Bang Theory. I've never watched one episode of that, and this show will probably make it despite me, but I don't want it to. And then finally, the show I think that's on the fence that has a chance as the comic book theme shows go on. Fox and Marvel have teamed up to create the show Gifted. It's basically based on another crop of X-Men. So that should be interesting. It's going to be their younger kids with powers, so it's got that drama feel. It's got the superhero feel. So it could actually be pretty interesting. You know, we got to give it a shot. Maybe it's like Gotham starts. I hated the first season, the first 4 episodes of Gotham, and then it just took off, and now I can't get enough of it, man. It's such a good show. So we'll see how this works out. There's a bunch of other shows that I didn't feel the need to touch on, but the fall TV season is always fun. I hate it because I find a show, fall in love with it, and then it gets canceled. And I'm like, why? Who would do such a thing? Like The Muppets or The Neighbors. Hulu, those shows. Anyway, thank you for watching another Downright Sports, the web series that is from a fan's perspective strictly. We're coming up with the Miami versus Virginia Tech show, where I will interview a good friend of mine, the host and the director and the creator of OK Projects, the channel, Brad Davis. We're going to sit down and just talk tech football, and I'll throw some Miami stuff out there, man. And Sean, if you watch the show, we're throwing up the gauntlet, B. You get to either direct it, or you get to videotape it, or edit it. The ball's in your court. Anyway, enjoy, everybody. Have a good day. Have a blessed day. And just remember, we're one country, one color blood. It doesn't matter the outside, but the inside does matter. And hatred is taught, not born with. So you live with that one. See you guys.